What's up, everyone? Let's go ahead and jump into this beginner's guide of how to do Romanian deadlifts and hip thrusts, two of my favorite exercises for growing the glutes. So if you are finding this content useful, if you are enjoying my channel, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to show me some love, and let's get started. For our setup, I like to use 3 of these stackable steps. I find that it just makes the perfect hip thrust height, and for reference, I am 5'1", so if you're a little taller than me or a lot more taller than me, you may need 4 or 5 of these. I also like to go ahead and lay a mat out, and this is just to protect my back because the steps are a bit rough and they can rub against the skin and really irritate it. So get yourself 2 mats. We're going to use one to protect our back. We're also going to use another to protect our hips. Y'all let me know if I explain this well, but the trickiest part about setting up for hip thrusts is getting your weight put on the barbell. So what I like to do is, if I am putting weight on the right side of the barbell, I pick up the barbell itself with my left hand and slide my first plate on. Once that first plate is on, everything else becomes a lot easier. So what you're going to do is grab yourself a 5-pound weight, roll your barbell onto that 5-pound weight, and then your second plate, it literally just slides on, y'all. As you can see, when I go over to the left side, which would be your right if you're watching this video, I step on the opposite side of the barbell so that I am still picking it up with my left hand while holding the plate with my right hand and sliding it on. It's the same method. I'm trying to give y'all so much detail on this setup because I know a lot of women struggle with this, that I am getting lost over my words. And if for some reason your plates aren't touching, what you want to do is go ahead and squat down. Please do not bend over to pick this up. Squat down, pick your barbell up completely. You're going to have to take a deep breath, and then the weight should slide back. And before getting into my first set, I always like to do a practice run with no weight, just to make sure I like my setup, my mind to body connection is ready to go, and I can really feel the contraction that I'm looking for. So I highly recommend doing this. To protect our hips, we're going to be folding up our second barbell mat. I like to do a tri-fold. If you aren't lifting as heavy weight, you may just be able to do a sandwich fold. It's completely up to you, but this is a great way to do it if you are lifting really heavy weight and you find that the what's the one that hooks onto the barbell? Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you find that barbell padding not enough, add this to it, and I promise you it feels so much better. For your foot placement, your feet should just be turned slightly outward. You can see a little bit of my front toe here, so it should just be turned slightly outward, and then you're gonna roll that weight onto your hips. Before you begin your thrusting motion, I want you to inhale deeply, tightening and engaging that core when you do that, and then as you begin to lift that weight off the ground, exhale. Really control it, really engage your core, and keep in mind, y'all, you do not have to tap the ground with your butt. You do not have to go that low back into start position. I used to do that because I thought it was the proper way, and that was the way everyone was doing it, but you do not have to touch the ground. The most important thing here is to make sure you keep your core tight, your back nice and aligned, so your body should be moving with you. There should be no arch in your back. An alternative to barbell hip thrusts is dumbbell hip thrusts. I really love these. The only thing I find is that you cannot lift as heavy just because you have to move heavy dumbbells around. So this wouldn't be my second option. This is a beginner friendly option. My second option to barbell hip thrust would definitely be Smith machine hip thrust. I have switched over to them just because the setup is a lot easier, especially when I'm short on time. And I find that the tension in my glutes is amazing. It's amazing. So give those a try for sure. The takedown of barbell hip thrusts is probably what stops people from wanting to even set them up, but it's going to be the same method as the setup, you guys. Slide that 5-pound weight under there, pull one weight off at a time. The moment you get one off, the second is easier. We don't want to hurt our back. So after that first plate is off, squat down to pick up that second plate and slowly walk backwards. It's going to slide off. And an easy method to get the other side off is to pick the entire barbell up and just step on the plate and pull the barbell out. It makes life so much easier. Romanian deadlifts is a great hinge movement to grow the glutes. You can perform these with barbells, you can perform these with dumbbells, you can do it on the cable machine. You really just got to get creative. Rule of thumb, again, you guys, bend down, use your knees to pick up your weight off the ground to protect your back. We always want to protect the back. So we're going to start in a shoulder width apart stance. You can move your feet a little closer or a little wider depending on your height, depending on what's comfortable to you. But I want you to focus on keeping that weight close to your body while pushing your hips back. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They don't push their hips back, and they end up feeling it in their hamstrings versus their glutes. So take your time here. Weight stays nice and close to the body. We're pushing our hips back, dropping right below our knees and coming right back up into start position. Squeeze your glutes, but just not too tight. You don't have to over squeeze them. Make sure you're not overextending your hips. This should be a smooth transition. So again, that weight is close to our bodies. We're dropping right below our knees. Core, rule of thumb, y'all already know this. Core stays tight, back stays nice and aligned. And we're going to come back up to start position to squeeze our glutes. I also wanted to show y'all how to do this with dumbbells. It's the exact same method, but if you're a beginner, which I'm assuming most of you are because you're watching this video, start out with dumbbells so that you gain that control and then gravitate towards barbell. It's a lot easier controlling the weight. You should always aim to master form before you go up in weight. If you don't, you risk injury, and it's just not worth it, y'all, I promise. So take your time, feel that weight through your heels, drop right below your knees, and then come back up and squeeze your glutes. That is it for today's video. I hope my explanations reached the right audience, but go ahead and like and share and comment down below if so. Y'all have a good day. Be at peace. If you're not at peace, go out there and find your peace. Fight for that shit because it is always a requirement. Is definitely a non-negotiable. Bye.